ISIS continues its march toward Baghdad. This as thousands of heavily armed militants continue to parade through Iraq, murdering and plundering banks. Fox News military analyst, retired four-star general and former vice chief of staff for the Army, Jack Keane was one of the leading proponents of the Iraq surge. All right, good evening, General. Why did you propose that surge in Iraq?
Well, because we had a failed strategy for 3 years. We were about to lose a war. The Iraqi government, undermined by the al-Qaeda and the Sunni insurgency, which inflamed the Shias by blowing up the Samarra Mosque and created huge sectarian conflict, was going to fracture the state, and we were going to lose a war. And
right,
it seems to me, just let me finish. It seems to me if you start a war, you should finish it on your terms.
Okay, so you proposed this surge, but then what happened?
Well, we defeated the al-Qaeda. They admitted that themselves. They said, don't send any more fighters. We did not leave a residual force. We did not stay engaged with the Maliki government to help shape a fledgling democracy. We walked away from that government. And he's a nefarious character, and he punished Sunnis who he believed were his political opponent. He puts cronies and stooges in his military, as opposed to the distinguished leaders that had fought during the surge. And the fact of the matter is, ISIS was able to reemerge, and they're on the march.
Okay, so when al-Maliki gets rid of the Sunnis in the military and in the government, we knew this was all happening, did we not, General?
Well, yeah, absolutely. But the current administration, because during the campaign, if you remember, this was the bad war, and we were going to end this war, and then we pulled our troops out. We did not stay geopolitically engaged with this government as we did post-World War II with Germany, Italy, Japan, and then South Korea in a different war. Right. And we pushed away. We had an ambassador, yes, but we treated them like France, as opposed to helping to shape their political class and shape their political system. And we did not do that. And we're paying a price for it.
All right. Well, you know Iraq, General. What is your take on the situation? What should America do? Is the president correct when he says, I'll send in 300 guys to talk to them about intelligence?
Well, he's partially correct. Here's what's actually happening. ISIS is a branch of al-Qaeda. Actually, as you correctly identified them, they're much more brutal than they are. They're certainly Sunni-based, but you can't make this a Sunni-Shia thing. You have to understand that this radical Islamic movement is Sunni-based, and they intend to take control of Muslim lands. Most of the Muslim lands are owned by Sunnis. They will fight and kill Sunnis just as they will fight and kill Shias. So understand that, as that's their foundation. They have got a huge swath of land in Syria, and now they've taken northern and almost close to central Iraq and some part of western Iraq. The fact of the matter is, they want this control and dominance. This is a small army that was a terrorist organization, remains a terrorist organization, but has grown into a small army that is using conventional tactics to establish a state, which is the goal of all of the al-Qaeda and its affiliate organizations, whatever country they're in.
Okay, so, and that's like a caliphate, a religious state, having nothing to do with nations or, you know, national boundaries. But is Iran going to let them do this? Iran is Shiite, and I know what you're saying, that it's not necessarily Sunni Shia, but if the Sunni militants come in and they say, we want those holy lands, and, you know, the Ayatollah is going to say, no way, Jose.
They're not going to take those holy lands. They're not even going to go near them. They understand what that means. Those holy lands are Shia holy lands, as the Sunni holy lands in Mecca and Medina are. They haven't fired around at them. They did blow the mosque up in Samarra in February 2006. That was because they wanted to create sectarian conflict, undermine a new government. But right now, that's not their strategy. Their strategy is to maintain the tactical initiative which they have, to encircle Baghdad and put pressure on it. They haven't been able to do that yet. To conduct some sporadic attacks into Baghdad. They do not have the force generation nor the combat power to take Baghdad.
Well,
but what they are achieving, they don't need Baghdad. what they are achieving is a huge amount of territory that they can claim, and they will declare it an Islamic state of whatever at some point when they're able to consolidate their power.
Okay.
Now, we have the means to stop this. This is not an impregnable force.
All right, but I got to go, General. How do we stop it? Very quickly.
Well, the president is taking a step in the right direction with intelligence advisors. If he is putting them in there to set the conditions to use the Iraqi army to conduct a counteroffensive against them, aided by airstrikes and also aided by clandestine special operation forces, then we're on the right path. If he's not doing it for those reasons, we're on the wrong path.
All right, General Keane, thanks so much for sharing your insight. And coming up, more on ISIS and how their leader once threatened an American. I'll see you in New York. Should we be worried? Next.